The school hallway was a battlefield. Not the kind with weapons or soldiers, but one where words cut deeper than knives and laughter felt like gunfire. Nathan walked cautiously, gripping his books tight to his chest, trying to become invisible in the sea of students. He knew what was coming. It was always the same. Then, like clockwork, "There he is, the little coding genius." Nathan didn't turn his head. He just kept walking. Jason, the school's golden boy, pushed off his locker and strode toward him with his usual smug grin. "Yo, nerd, you working on that stupid game again?" he sneered, loud enough for the whole hallway to hear. Nathan refused to react. He had been through this 100 times before. Keep walking. Ignore them. Just make it to class. But Jason wasn't done. A foot shot out. Nathan didn't even see it coming. His body lurched forward, his books flying from his grasp. Pages scattered, his laptop bag hit the floor, and, worst of all, his USB drive soared through the air. Time seemed to slow. Nathan watched, helpless, as it landed at Jason's feet. Jason picked it up, turning it over in his hands, grinning. "What's this? Some super top-secret nerd project?" Nathan scrambled to his feet, panic rising in his chest. "Give it back." His voice was low, controlled. Jason tilted his head. "Or what?" Then, with one deliberate motion, he dropped the USB to the floor and crushed it under his shoe. Crack! Nathan's heart stopped. A few students gasped. Others burst into laughter. Everything he had worked on, months of effort, gone in an instant. Jason smirked down at him. "Oops." The hallway filled with cruel laughter. Nathan stared at the shattered remains of his dream. His fists clenched. His breathing became ragged. His entire life he had been pushed around. Ignored. Mocked. But this was the moment. Something inside him snapped. Nathan was done being the victim. Nathan didn't go to class that day. Instead, he walked. He walked until his legs ached, until his mind stopped buzzing with rage. He found himself in the park, sitting on an old bench, staring at nothing. His entire project, months of sleepless nights, endless lines of code, the dream he had built from scratch, destroyed in 2 seconds. And for what? A laugh? A joke? Tears stung his eyes, but he refused to let them fall. He pulled out his phone and stared at his home screen, a picture of his desktop with his last saved backup. It was old, not perfect, but it was something. And right then, Nathan made a decision. He wouldn't just rebuild his game. He would make it bigger, better, unstoppable. He would prove them all wrong. Nathan locked himself in his room. His world became nothing but code, coffee, and determination. Lines of text scrolled across his screen as his fingers danced over the keyboard. The only light came from his monitor, casting long shadows on his walls. He barely ate. He barely slept. He only worked. When his father knocked on his door, telling him to focus on school, he barely heard him. When his mother worried he was wasting his time, he just nodded absent-mindedly. They didn't understand. This wasn't just a game. This was his revenge. Weeks passed, then months, until finally, it was done. Nathan leaned back in his chair, staring at the screen in disbelief. His heart pounded as he clicked upload. The next morning, he checked his stats. 1,000 downloads. By lunchtime, 10,000. By midnight, 100,000. And then, an email. A major gaming company had seen his work. They wanted to buy it. For 6 figures. Nathan stared at the email, his breath catching in his throat. Jason had no idea. Not yet. Nathan walked into school like a different person. No more hiding. No more fear. Jason spotted him from across the hallway, the usual smirk on his face. Nathan walked straight up to him. "Hey, Jason, remember that game you destroyed?" Jason chuckled. "Yeah? What about it?" Nathan pulled out his phone. He turned the screen toward Jason, and Jason's smirk disappeared. 1 million downloads, a 6-figure deal. Nathan was officially famous. The hallway erupted in whispers. Phones came out. Students scrambled to search for Nathan's name online. Jason's face turned red. For the first time ever, he looked afraid. Nathan didn't need revenge. He just smiled. Jason didn't matter anymore. The graduation auditorium was packed. Parents, teachers, students, all gathered to celebrate the class of the year. Nathan sat among them, scrolling through his phone. His game had just hit 2 million downloads. The money? It was more than his dad had made in 5 years. Then, the principal's voice echoed through the auditorium. "Principal, traditionally, we honor our top academic student, but this year, we have someone special. A student who built a multi-million-dollar company while still in school." Nathan's breath caught. "Principal, please welcome Nathan." The auditorium exploded in applause. Jason slumped in his chair. Nathan walked onto the stage, took the mic, and smiled. Then, with pure confidence, he said, "They say if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll spend its whole life thinking it's stupid." A pause. Then, "Well, I guess I'm not a fish." The crowd went wild. Nathan had won. Outside the school, Nathan leaned against his brand new sports car. His phone buzzed. Another game deal. Bigger money, bigger success. Then Jason appeared, awkward and hesitant. "Hey, Nathan? Could you maybe teach me how to code?" Nathan looked at him for a long moment. Then, with a small smirk, he reached into his bag, pulled out a book titled Coding for Beginners, and tossed it to Jason. "Start with this." Then, without another word, he drove away. The kid they called a loser had just won everything. Nathan didn't fight back with fists. He let his success speak for itself. No one believed in him, but he believed in himself. And that was all he ever needed. Final message. The power of belief. Nathan's story is proof that you don't need approval to succeed. People will doubt you. They will laugh at your dreams. They will try to tear you down, but their opinions don't define your future. What matters is that you believe in yourself. Because success isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Now it's your turn. If you've ever felt underestimated, overlooked, or told that your dreams are impossible, this is your sign. Start today. Work hard. Stay focused. And one day, you'll be the one standing on that stage. What's the one dream you refuse to give up on? Drop it in the comments below. Let's make it happen.